All right. I think I've got the bugs worked out now, finally. So here we go. Let me just let people know that, hey, I'm back online and we're good to go. Apparently, the issue is that Streamlabs does not like playing fully windowed games if they require the mouse. It'll make the mouse disappear. So I switched it over to windowed mode, and so now I'm just letting people know that I'm back. And now that we have the kinks worked out now. All right. So, City of Heroes is an MMORPG that's been out for about 20 some odd years. Um, and as you can see, I've got a ton of different characters. Oops. A ton of different characters on this particular server. Now, this game actually shut down quite a while ago, but the game information had actually been leaked, and so private servers now run this game, and I play on one called Rebirth, and it's got active development. I'm actually friends with a couple of people who are doing some work for it, and basically, this is a superhero MMORPG where you can pretty much design to your heart's content. And we're going to go through the character generator as well as some of the early parts of the game so you can see exactly what this game is like. To this day, I feel like there's no other game that has the customization that this particular game has, and we're going to go actually into it. So first off, we have a choice here between City of Heroes and City of Heroes Going Rogue. The difference is that in City of Heroes, you get to choose whether you want to be a hero or a villain. In Going Rogue, you start off in an alternate reality where you are choosing to align with the resistance that are filing against heroes that have taken over, or you can be a loyalist who are siding with those same quote unquote heroes that have taken control of the city. For this part, we're going to stick to the base game to get people's feet wet. Now, of course, with every origin of a hero, are you naturally inclined? Do you use technology? Are you based in magic, or possibly mutation, or a product of science? These really don't matter as much outside of enhancing your powers. You'll end up tailoring your own abilities to enhancements based on these origins, and anything outside of these origins won't work. But again, you'll see that in play as we go through things. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and choose natural, and we're going to proceed through. Now, this game has two different options to start on. You can either jump right into the archetype, or you can go into playstyle. Do you want to be a tank, basically a damage sponge? Melee damage, high DPS. Range damage could also be high DPS, but could also be long range damage and support. Crowd control. Support could be crowd control, could be hero buffing, or could even be summoning pets, which has its own slot here. And then, of course, you've got a multitude of different archetypes to play through. You've got your blasters, which are range DPS, as you can see here. You've got your controller, which is crowd control and support. Defender, which are higher on support. Could also be buff debuffers. Scrappers, which are melee DPS. Tankers, which are survivals. So they're actually aggro hogs. I'm going to skip these two for the moment, the Peacebringers and the Warshades, and the Guardian as well. You have your Brutes, which are a mix of survival and DPS. You have your Stalkers, which are burst damage. They are basically the ones that hide into the shadows and strike for quick, massive damage. But once you're seen, they're basically go down to standard damage levels. You've got your masterminds, where why look for a party when you can just build one? Your dominators are another form of crowd control, but your damage tends to go up based on your control levels. And then, of course, you've got your corruptors, which are another form of ranged DPS. However, their attacks have some side effects that are really good with stacking some damage. So they kind of fall into that support ranged damage area. And then we're going to get into the Arachnos Widows and Soldiers, as well as the War Shades and Peacebringers. Now, originally these were level locked. You had to have a character hit max level for these to unlock, but on this server you can make them right out. Arachnos Widows are a mix between control and damage, which give them a form of survivability. They're amazing characters, very flexible. The same goes for Arachnos Soldiers, but they're more in the damage vein as opposed to the control vein or buffing vein. Um, Peacebringers and Warshades were locked to the hero side, and these were aliens that had fused with humans. The Peacebringers and Warshades, if you can see here, their survivability, crowd control, all these numbers are questionable because they range depending on number one, if you go multi-form or single form, because as you can see in the images, you've got different shapes that you can take as you level up. You also have a variance of range damage, you have melee damage, you've got support, you've got all forms of travel as well. And the thing about this is that depending on the team size that you jump into and the mix of the team also changes what your stat composition will be. You basically fill the missing hole. And then we come to Guardians. This is a archetype that is unique unto this particular server, where it is a flexible character of both melee, range, survivability, and support. Whether it's supporting yourself or supporting your team members, they're kind of like the jack of all trades type of character. And so those guys are really awesome. And I want to say welcome to Shirley and welcome to Kayla. Hey guys, thanks for joining. Um, let's see here. Sorry, I didn't see the. I don't have my pop-ups up yet. Give me 1 second. Actually, let me do this. All right. And so moving past that, each archetype has its own sets of primary and secondary powers. Now, if I was to go through all of these, it would be insane. We'd be here all day. So like, let's just take an example of your range damage. You can do archery, you can do beam rifle, you want to do electric blast, dual pistols, sonic attack. Water blast is actually one of the newer powers that they've introduced into this server. You get your secondaries, devices like web grenades, caltrops. You can do fire manipulation like fire sword circle, and it's exactly as it sounds. Martial combat is another form here. But if I was to go, say, defender, my power sets change. You've got dark miasma, where it's healing based on damage. Tar patch, which is a area of effect debuffing. Or I can go empathy. This is where you get your healing powers. This is the most strongest heals in the game. Healing aura, healing other, resurrect. You can keep a party going for 60 seconds with recovery aura and regeneration aura. And let's say you wanted to do a Green Lantern with bubbles, or debuff with radiation. Defenders are straight up party buff, but their secondary powers are all damage. They don't have the same type of damage level as a blaster, but they can do some stuff like Lancer's shot is just a kind of a big shot. Then you've got that penetrating ray for beam rifle, which is a snipe um, in this game. Let's see here. I have to show this to Lumi. He was asking. Exactly. This is actually why I'm doing the stream. Hey, Suba. But yeah, this is why I'm actually doing the stream now. Is simply because yes, they have definitely we've definitely had to get Lumi in on this for examples of what an MMO is. Let's let's get that up there. All right. Let's see here. Here, I'll put. Sorry, there's some things I should have done beforehand. All right. Let's see here. Um, tankers. Tankers have armor, lots of different types of armor. Do you want ice? Do you want to be a Superman type character? Do you want to be radiation? Or you can even be a Captain America type character. And of course, because tanks are basically the focal point of all damage, they get mostly melee damage. So battle axe, behead, chop, gash. You've got ice melee where you create ice in your fists. You can create ice weapons like an ice sword. Actually, that's all you can create. Same thing with fiery melee. Or you can just be a straight out martial artist. There's even staff fighting and what they call street justice. Basically, you're a street fighter. um, so for this instance, I'm going to actually be showing off the Guardian in a few minutes. I have one already pre-built, but I want to make sure that I go through a lot of the stuff here. You can spend hours on just character customization. This game gives you the option of a male figure, a female figure, or a huge bulky male figure. You can do presets of character body shapes, or you can create your own. This game really just kind of blows out exactly how large you can be. If you want to go for that type of character, if you want to be a tiny, teeny, tiny character, that it's another thing that you can do. Or if you just kind of want to go nuts, moving into the actual costume generator, you could just hit that random button. And the real interesting thing, yep, Luke Cage, yeah, you could probably do that too. Actually, you could do that. The thing about this game is, here's where this game really shines. You can have colors linked throughout your suit. You can kind of go crazy here. You can change your skin color. You want to be a red colored guy, you could be a red colored person. You want to be a purple person, you could be a purple person. Um, and let's see here. And also you can augment here your body shape. You can augment your face shape here on the fly, so that this way, if you do want to tweak your body after you've picked your costume, you don't have to go back to the last to the last page. And of course, you've got a three. You can go ahead and see exactly what your character's going to look like. And first off, we've got presets. These are all preset different types of costume bits that you can just kind of throw together and run with if that's your thing. But if you want to get into the nitty gritty, you can choose all different types of character heads. You can be no mask, you can be fully masked, you can have a hat if you want to, or hey, you want to be a cat, be a cat. um, or if you want to be a bird, be a bird. And there's even special helmets. These were pre-order bonuses originally, but the guys here um, at Rebirth made sure to unlock as much as they could for you. So as you can see, um, and let's clear that back out for a second. So you can choose a face and it'll auto adjust, and you can see the age of this game, but there's still so much that this game gives. Um, you can choose a facial type here, and of course there's just so many to choose from. I'm literally just scrolling down. You can see. Um, these are some of the new ones, like the neon and the prismatic, um, and the uncanny illumination. If you wanted to do hair, you have all sorts of hair. You also have stuff if you want to be more villainous looking. You know, you can get that faux hawk. You can get a top knot. You can have nails sticking out of your head if you want to. Your brain is exposed. You can be made of leaves. And now this symbol here, it's because there's something you have to do in the game to unlock this, but you can get it. Let's see here. Yeah, yeah. There's definitely so much to this. The character generator alone is worth it. You have different things. You can do glasses if you want. You can do masks as well, and every single one of these is a layer that you can just add on top. So you can kind of go nuts. Um, so that's detailed one, detail two, usually face stuff, and I believe they did unlock a lot of these for both genders, so you can really go crazy. As a matter of fact, let's find out. Oh, that's horrifying. Let's see the cigar, the bubble head, the oni masks. Okay, so they didn't do the facial hair for the female characters. But then you've got things like your upper body. Now there are some things that are gendered still in this game. That's just because the models themselves are done in such a way that they couldn't just copy paste them over. It's a lot more work to rebuild, and in that case, you'd have to redo the entire game. So you have to kind of excuse that part of it. But you've got different types of tight skin options, or if you're wanting to go bodysuit armored, you can do that. There's a couple of stuff like that. Let's see, bare arms, celestial armor, and then again you can just start stacking on top of this. And some pieces, and I'm trying to remember which ones. I think the the dynasty ones. The dynasty ones can be multicolored, as you can see there. Give some little flavor here so we can see the differences. But some of these actually can be colored in such a way that, like, I know Justice can be. As you can see, you can throw some abstract symbols on there, but if you scroll all the way to the bottom, which I don't know why they put it at the bottom, you can see me thumbing through all that. You can actually color the portions correctly to make that pop a bit more. But as you saw me scrolling through, all of these icons can be painted on many of the different pieces that you have. Um, and then of course you've got shoulder options and body options here. You can give yourself hoses like Bane. You can be shut up. Um, give yourself wings. Actually, wings were something new that they added probably within the last year. So you can really get that flight look if you want to do something. Let's say Stratos from He-Man, or be a hawk girl. And then they've unlinked the gloves, so you can have two different types of hands for things like that. You've got a whole assortment of belt options. Lower bodies, same thing. You've got tights. Like I said, we can spend all day here on just this. If you want to be a pure animal, you've got tails. You've got a bunny tail. You've got cat tails. Let's actually zoom out. Bunny tails, cat tails. You've got reptiles, demon, phoenix. That's actually a new one. You can have them animated if you want. The bioorganic and the bioluminates, some of my favorite ones. Then we come to back details. You can have a cape, or if you're like Edna Mo, No cape. No capes. Half mantles, which is the neck. Asymmetrics. Over the shoulders. Let's see if I can. You can be a Doctor Strange character. Now, mind you, this piece actually came out before the movie. Way before the movie. This is actually back when it was live. You've got wings if you want to do the full wings. And I mean, you have options in game. You can find the recipes for these. You can have bone wings, little bat wings. You can have burned wings, cherub wings, dragon wings, fairy wings. Oh, glittering fairy. All right, I'm gonna have to go hunt for that one. You can have mech wings as well. Spiderwebs, I think, were new too. Clockwork wings, and you can see that from the back there, little wind-up wings, and then of course an assortment of backpacks, because maybe you want to be that Pokemon trainer, which I believe is an option here. You get a little backpack, an actual backpack. This one I think has a hand in it, or has, yep, little critter in the background there, and then of course you've got your auras. And you can set these to combat so that when you are in combat mode, the auras spring to life, and when you're not, they're not there. I have the fairy wings. I don't have the glittering fairy wings. Let's see. And then, of course, you can actually customize all of your power choices. So let's go back real quick and let's make some choices here. Let's do Dark Assault. Let's do Atmospheric Composition just for funsies. And I mean, you want to fire some Dark Blasts, you can. And there's even some stuff here that you can use. Like the Noir is just a blast. However, if I do the Skull, you can actually see that flying skull coming out of my hands. And you can tint each part of this. As you can see the trailing off there. Most of the game's powers actually are customizable for color-wise, and some do have options, some don't. As you can see, bright electricity, dark electricity. But then Freezing Rain, you can either have the original or you can just tint them slightly. You can match the whole thing so you only have to color once and then get everything done. And as you get further into this game, you'll start seeing more and more powers. Not just these two. You'll actually get some tertiary pool powers, as well as endgame content, which gives you even more powers. And you can see the wings at work too here. But as I said, I do have a character all ready to go. So we're going to jump into that. But there's just so much. You can, even when you're registering your character, you get your name, you have your battle cry, and you can enter a small description. Give your character a story if you want to. This game's, like I said, just character creation alone is just insane. But let's go ahead and jump into a character I created last night just for this. It is a Guardian. It is a dual pistols Guardian. Wonder who he's gonna be. I have created John Wick. Yep. As Packet Law said, that is definitely the case. Everything is unlocked from the get-go. Well, most things are unlocked. Very few things are locked behind actually having to do actual content or purchasing in-game, which I'll show you in just a second. So this is Atlas Park. This is, once you're done with the tutorial, there is a tutorial. I totally skipped it because, quite honestly, I wanted to show off the main game. But once you get past the tutorial, this is Atlas Park. This is where you start if you are a hero. In the villain side, you start in a completely different zone. This is Miss Liberty. And she is the person you will come to whenever you want to train to a new level. Now, there's many different zones. Each zone should typically have a trainer so that you don't have to come all the way back to the starting area. She'll tell you how much you'll need to be for a security level 2 and bring about justice. And of course, as I come over here, this is the field trainer where you can purchase enhancements that will make your powers stronger. Speaking of, let's see, what did I choose for him? I kind of forgot. I made him up last night. He is a guardian. Yes, but what are my powers? Dual pistols and pain focusing. So in this case, I have a toggle for um, my to resist all my incoming damage. Sorry, multitasking and brain needs more coffee apparently. What I like to do is I like to split my attacks from my defenses so that I can keep track of what I've got going on. So this is me put, giving myself a bit of resistance. There's a way to track that combat attributes. So damage resistance. I'll pull that right up here for a second. So as you see, as I turn off my power, my resistances are at 0%. And just by the power by itself, I'm now gaining a 16% resistance to smashing damage and lethal damage, as well as psionic resistance. However, there are other damage types in this game, and I'm not resistant to. There's also defense. Now, the difference between resistance and defense is with resistance, it's reducing the amount of damage I take. Defense is a percentage of being able to be hit by it. So the higher my defense, the less likely I'm going to be hit. But the higher my resistance is when I do get hit, I'm not going to take as much damage. You've got my debuff resistances in case somebody hits me with a status effect. My status effect protection. You've got to deal with holds, immobilize, stuns, sleeps, knockback, confuse, terrorize. Terrorize basically makes you stunned out. As you can see, I've got Robodoc standing in front of me. He is most likely a mastermind. Yep, that's the mastermind icon. And he's got robots. And that is another player. So you've got a difference between NPCs and PCs all over the place. Let's see. And then, of course, status effect resistance, which means 100% means I can't be hit by that. I resist it completely. But if their attack is higher than that, then I can actually still be nailed by this. Debuffing is a way to start nailing me with these different types of resistances. So let's see. Is there anybody doing... I can do a death from below. Well, let's see if we've got one of those going. That is actually a group trial. This game has things that we call trials, where it's a group activity. You get a bunch of people together, start doing them. The Incarnate trials, you have to be level 50 to start doing. The task force are level locked. I believe the earliest you can do them is level 10. I'm not entirely 100% sure on that one. It's been a while since I've done the low-level content. And we'll go ahead and explore the city a little bit and do a little street sweeping. Let's see. Can I... Have my run yet? Yes, I do. I've got my run. Oh, some of the stuff that you do get off the bat. Now, a lot of this used to be locked. But, again, this server has unlocked much of it. So you can get Prestige Power Slide. I can have a rocket pack if I want to. I can have a pet wolf. Hey, look. John Wick has his dog. I can summon a leprechaun, which gives you more money when you're dealing things. You can have a liger, lion, lioness. Mystic Fortune is a power that is used for other players. You can, when you see them, you can read their fortune, and they'll give a special buff. This is Secondary Mutation. I click it. It's a random power each time. This one gave me Acute Senses. There's a chance that you could turn into a rickety monkey, which basically makes you absolutely useless for a couple of seconds. Um, the each arc. Oh, I didn't go over that. Each archetype has its own unique power that is built into the character in itself. You don't choose which type. It's automatic. So all the defenders get the same one. All the blasters get the same one. For the guardian, it gives near. Whenever a foe is defeated, a nearby team member gets plus absorption, kind of like a hit point shield, and is resistant to disorient, hold, sleep, immobilize, fear, and confusion for a short amount of time. So let's yeah, the you might see some some people talking about zombies. We are in the middle of a Halloween event. It should be finishing this week though, and I may have bitten off more than I could chew here. Oh, brawl! I've got to be up in melee range for that. Unfortunately, the dog is just quite literally a pet. It does nothing. Only the masterminds can get the pets that actually do stuff. Wait a minute. That wasn't supposed to happen. That's new. Yep. Thanks, dog. Appreciate your help. But as you can see, I'm surrounded, but I'm not taking a whole lot of damage. And you can see the little pips up here starting to fill up. That is your XP bar. Um, Once you have 10 pips, you level up to the next level. And of course, it's progressive. So, alright, we have just leveled up. So, we're now level 2, and I believe that gives me another attack power? I've got to invert this. I'll do that later. Now, you'll see in the little bubble there, it says you receive training damage. So not only do you get XP, you get a little bit of money, which on hero's side is called influence, and on villain side it is called infamy, and in the going rogue, I believe it's called information. And here are the different. These are the starting art power ups that you get for just playing. um, but this one is for jumping. So anything that has a jumping power into it, I can enhance. And this one is straight up damage. And you can see it boosts my damage by 7.5%. So let's go ahead and slot that into my pistols. Once you've placed it, you cannot remove them. You can only replace it with a different one. But there's ways that you can combine them. So if I had another one that was slightly better, I can combine the two and it'll take the bigger number and give that number a plus for a percent chance. If they were the same, like if I had two number ones, I'd get a 1 plus, which makes it a 2. Or if it put in a 2, it would tell you, okay, there's a 90% chance that this is going to work. And if it does, it'll give me a 2 plus, which is effectively a 3. And let's see. So since I'm only using sprint, I'll use that. It gives me a little bit of a boost in my jump. You can see, whee! And then we'll come over here to Miss Liberty. Oh, here. Mystic Fortune. Have a fortune. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and train up to level 2. So I can either take a defensive power called Nullify Pain, which says here, Pain will heal. Nullify Pain will heal nearby allies for some hit points by the number of by numbing the pain of their wounds. It's not as potent as Soothe, but can heal multiple targets at once. So this is basically an AoE heal. Or I can take a kick, slow high damage kick that will likely knock your target back, or spinning kick, which let's see here, a reverse roundhouse. And anything in front of you with devastating force, you can activate this ability any time, no matter what you have targeted. It will strike enemies directly in front of your character rather than the enemy near you. So this was kind of a cone, whereas this is a single target. And as you can see by the little icons up here, I'm actually going to go ahead and take a spinning kick. So you can see here the difference. This is a single target, and you see this little bridge up here that shows you that it's a cone, or I'm sorry, yeah, cone effect. And as you get your powers, you'll start to see these little icons, and they'll ring around, so you'll be able to see exactly what you're doing. And you probably just saw somebody zip past. That is someone with super speed. That is Prestige Power Slide, tinted. All right, hang on, because this is gonna drive me bonkers. Uh, Controls. Oh, okay. There we go. That's better. I look up when I want to look up, and I look down when I want to look. Yeah. Since I did say we were in the middle of an event, let me show you. Okay, so those guys, by the way, are bad guys. Those are clockworks. But we're in the Halloween event. I got a treat. I received a enhanced inspiration. These are inspirations. These are little power ups that you can find as you're battling that they will help you while you fight. We like to affectionately call them Skittles because you pop them like them. And I found salvage. Okay, that's not bad. Salvage. The salvage for the trick or treat event will help you either get special Halloween packs that have enhancements that are only available during Halloween, and or you can use them to buy open up an enhancement slot. My favorite power in the game. That's a tough choice. There's just so many to choose from. I would have to say I don't know. I was always big into the empathy, which is all the heal aspects, but then I don't know. Like blasters has always been one of my other ones too. The nice range DPS that you can do, and then of course there are oh no, some little woman's getting mugged. Um, there's our new power in play. Um, I kind of like the melee DPS. I have a claws scrapper, which I really do love. She's basically she can solo missions because her defenses are so high that barely anything touches her. As you can see, you've got a lot of space to play here. Um, this is the icon. This is where you can come in and get a costume change if you want. And let me go over here real quick. Yeah, running in this game without a travel power kind of stinks. The maps can be huge. This is Wentworth. This is actually the auction house. People will put up stuff for others to buy. Some people will just start bidding. Some people, it depends on what you're looking for. And there's a lot of things that are available in this game. Recipes for your characters to craft, specialized enhancements. As you can see, this is part of a set bonus. There's a lot of that as you get into the higher level tiers, and there's sets for pretty much everything above 10, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the your first method of transportation to new zones. There's actually two in this particular server for you. There is the train, which is up there, and it gives you access to most of your side of the game. And then there is this teleporter over here, this portal, which will give you access to other parts of the game, mostly danger zones. Um, Imperial City is actually the alternate universe that we've opened with. First Ward, Night Ward are also different ones, but Founders Falls, Peregrine Island, these are in your area, and then Firebase Zulu is kind of like the Stargate place. Like you literally have to go through a Stargate to get to. Um. Oh yeah. where's the nearest Pocket D? Nearest Pocket D is actually in Kings Row. So let's go to Kings Row real quick, and I'm going to show you some fun stuff. Now, this game does not lock you into being a hero or a villain. You can actually switch sides. There's the option of being a rogue or a vigilante, and there is a zombie apocalypse going on here. Uh oh. Yeah, this is part of the event. Uh oh, I missed. Yeah, this is part of the Halloween event, by the way. This is not a normal thing. All right, I'm gonna run because they're starting to pack up on me here. Run, run, John Wick, run! I mean, you have gritty, grungy. You've got kind of semi-futuristic at some points. So this place is called Pocket D. Well, this is the entrance to Pocket D. You can see by the posters. Click on the truck and whoosh. And that's something I'm going to tell you right now. In this game, there are only certain doors that will work, but I have it on good authority that sometimes you might want to just click on random doors, especially in a new area. So this looks like a regular old warehouse, and you saw that we went into a truck and wound up into a warehouse. That is a portal door. We are going to the party known as Pocket D. This area is for heroes, villains, rogues, and vigilantes. Now, the rogues and vigilantes are the two classes that are able to cross sections. However, a rogue is considered a villain for all intents and purposes, while the vigilante is considered a hero. So, anytime you are doing hero or villain stuff, you have to choose. You have to be mindful of that. And then, of course, this is Null the Gull up there. He will tell you information that you might need to know later in the game. Um, you can have how move control buffs affect you if you want to be affected by super speed. If you want to be affected by travel powers. If you want to auto accept Mystic Fortunes, which, yes, you do. There is also. Let's see here. There's also this called Dimensional Warder. Now, later in the game, you will fight alternate versions of all of the heroes. They're actually villainous characters. So basically, the Injustice League. And as you defeat them all, you'll get a badge. Once you defeat them all, you'll receive a badge that gets you an accolade, which will boost some of your already base stats. And so certain badges leads to accolades, and there are information as to what kinds do what. Some will give you some powers. Others will boost your endurance, which is what you're able to cast, which is this blue bar, which I probably should have gone through earlier. The green bar is your health. There's two badges that'll augment your hit points, but also there are enhancements that will also change your hit points as well. Each archetype has its own set of hit points, has its own base set of defenses, as well as its cap on how much resistance you can get. How much defense is the same, but your resistances will vary depending on your archetype. It will also get to your damage. Ooh, it's a party! Yeah! Let's do it. Maybe I'll get some levels out of this. But anything that you see with a blue name is another player to this server. They just happen to be in this area and fighting. And you got a bow staff there. You've got a shieldy. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? I love this game. This game is so much fun. You've got a Sonic. That guy's a Sonic. I'm not entirely sure if he's a defender. Yeah, he's a defender. So a defender will actually have give better defensive buffs. And of course, you can see the different colors of the characters that we're fighting. White is anything your level. Gray is anything below your level. Let's see. There is blue. I'm sorry. Gray is anything too far below your level. Blue is below your level. Orange is slightly above. Red is really above, and purple is. Yeah, have fun. Good luck. You're gonna need it. Let's see. Also, Kayla, if you're still watching, you're more than welcome to jump into the voice chat. I'm actually on the Discord. Just it should be. Let me find out real quick. Yep, yep, I am. Pow. Oh yeah, I forgot about yellows. Yellows are just slightly above your level. Usually make for great XP is yellow and orange. If you're feeling froggy, red, but I would recommend you at least team up with a couple people. And then, of course, there is purple, which you're going to want a lot of help with. A lot of buff debuffing. I mean, nothing is unscalable in this game as far as taking it down unless it's really ridiculously above your level. Um, but all of it makes for XP. There are actually giant monsters, or what they call GMs in this game. They don't con as a color because they are coded in such a way that whenever you attack them, you attack as if you were their level, and whenever you take a hit from them, they hit you as if they were at your level. But don't get me wrong, they hit like a truck doing 60, and you're a squirrel. Ah, so you got some reds. Basically, we beat down enough zombies to summon these guys, so now we beat them down. And this is actually an event badge. You can only get the badge for these specific for this specific event during this time frame. Then after this event is going to be the fight before Christmas, where you'll still see be able to trick or treat, but as you get closer and closer to the holidays, and when they activate the Christmas event, you will have you'll start seeing zombies and pumpkins and all sorts of the Halloween monsters, and start seeing Christmas monsters. Although some of the zombies and the werewolves do get a little festive. I am not joking either. They're wearing Santa caps and wearing scarves. It's hilarious to watch. Actually, we'll run through the list of games in a few minutes. I mean, doing this isn't a whole lot of XP, obviously, but it's a fun little event that you can actually get together with, meet some new people while you're playing. Oh, haha, yeah. I forgot I was actually in a queue, so it wouldn't let me team up with anybody. Oh, that is a lot of pets. And you can tell that they're pets because there's a player name in small text above them. It's just a scaling thing. So let's see. We've got three masterminds, two blasters, a peacebringer, and me, the guardian. Now we're cooking. And as you can see, because I'm now part of a team, my XP is starting to move faster because we're all working together now. You can do little text bubbles. And there's all types of things that you can do. You can talk to NPCs that will give you missions that will turn around and send you to missions, locations where you can go beat up crime. There are so you have got contacts, you've got radio missions that will eventually unlock. And I mean, this is just a sampling of the map in itself, and I'll even zoom in. We're in this little spot, and you've seen how big it is. And the map literally is as large as you see that window. This is a very large map, and it's not even the largest map in this game. And again, this game's pushing 20, I think, easily. Well, I think the apocalypse is over. Well, got a level out of that, though. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the local trainer, which is over here, a guy by the name of Blue Steel. Let's see. Train to a new level. So at level 4, I can actually choose an inherent power, but I'm only at level 3, so it lets me slot my powers to get them a little bit better. So I think I'm going to go ahead and increase my damage just a little bit more. More damage, more better. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like everybody's heading out, so I'm going to go ahead and bounce on that. Enhancements. We got some enhancements over here. Oh, awesome. Got some more damage ones. So I'll slot some of the damage ones there. Do I have a... That's a defense buff. That's not going to help me. Recharge. We'll throw that one in there. Endurance. Yeah, we'll go ahead and slot the endurance one there. Okay, so what I was saying before, I have this 2 enhancement and I have this 1 enhancement. It says I'll have a 95% chance of success, so we'll combine them. That's 2 plus. That's now considered a 3. And so, boom. Now these other enhancements I really can't use. So what I can do is go to the hero core guy or girl. I actually don't know which one's in this zone. The hero core person. Let's see. They should be. Is that you? Nope, that's the field analyst. This person is the one you talk to if you want to make your game a little harder. You can change to your additional level, so I can go +1 to my level. Or I can equivalent myself to 8 heroes. Do not recommend doing this if you're a new player or starting out, because this game gets rather difficult. There are a ton of people that will spawn for you to fight if you take too long, or if you decide to say that you're an 8-person team. Now my little scrapper, yeah, she can do it. Oh, I didn't even notice that. That's a nice little quality of life change. Oh, ran over. There's a badge in here somewhere. Oh, that's a purple. I'm out of here. Goodbye. Later. I'm leaving. Wow, that was close. I almost died. Now, if you die, you wind up in the hospital and you accrue what is called debt, negative XP, which you have to work off, but you don't have to worry about that until you're level 10. Let me show you Independence Port real quick. Mind you, this is a suicide mission. because Independence Port is a 30 plus zone. But when I show you the map, cut it. Come on, map, Draco. Map starts with an M. Map. So this is me, and I'm at the midway point, roughly. Actually, this is me, and this is a really large map. This is actually one of the largest maps in the game. And there are so many different options to go to different levels, different places. And as you level up, you'll be spending more time in the different zones. But as you can see here, this is just a list of the hero side. Um, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and take you guys on a little tour. Now that I've shown you a little bit of the base game. Um, yeah, I will show off my Warshade. Now this is Croatoa. This is actually one of the zones that will take you in. This is one of the specialty zones. Was created after the game had come out, and is nothing but, as you can see here, ghosts. All right. And let's see here. There are the string, which are the pumpkin guys. And I believe we also have Tuatha De Danann, which should be around here somewhere. Well, I've been passing these little markers. They're very small and hard to see, but they'll give you badges. These badges are just location stuff. But if you get certain ones, if you get the right combination, will give you a an accolade. So that's Tuatha De Danann. I know it's a little dark right now. It just happens to be nighttime in the game. Let's see. There's more Tuatha De Danann. I wonder if Sally's out. Yeah, there's Sally. Sally is a unique monster to this area. She is a one-hit monster. You got to hit her twice, and you get a badge for her. I believe it's called the Believer. I'm gonna leave her alone because I don't really want to mess with her at the moment. I'd rather have another player who needs the badge or wants the badge to snag her. I don't want to just steal it from somebody. We have Red Caps here, and let's see. Oh, that's a that's a bad guy. That's a bad guy. Now, the reason why they're turning and shooting me is because I have an aura on. This is my level 50 character. As you can see, I've got a lot of powers here. This one is the type of character that will absorb life force as part of their shtick. Let me just take off the orbiting death. Let's see. We've got Will-O-Wisp. We have witches in this area as well. Looks like the witches are fighting the red caps. You can see where the arrow hit. And I'm wondering if we've got giant monsters up yet. Because that would be cool if I can show you guys a giant monster. Although I do know where I can find one. Or more like 30 of them. I mean, I'll die, but I'll do it for you guys. Why? Because I love you guys, and I love this game, and I want to show it off. I'm actually utilizing the travel power super speed and super jump combined, but I don't have to. This is my Warshade, so my Warshade comes with a built-in ability. If I shapeshift into the Nova form, turns me into the Flying Squid. Or if I was a human or dwarf form, I have the ability to teleport. But in human form, I can at least utilize a slightly faster mechanic. And every zone has its own unique soundtrack to it, which is kind of cool. Come on. Not seeing any of the giant monsters. So we're going to go to Paragon Island. And we're going to go show you guys some kaiju-sized monsters. And yes, there are around. The Halloween event usually has one. Either a Jack and Irons or a Eokai. Which Jack and Irons is a giant red cap. And Iokai is go to Atlas Park real quick. Iokai is a giant pumpkin monster. Other monsters include for the Christmas event, you have to fight a giant snowman. And let me share you a quick story. The first year the snowman event happened, we towards the end of it, they decided to go ahead and crank the spawn rate. Well, what they didn't take into account was that the spawn rate for them also meant that what's going on here? The spawn rate for them ended up being that if nobody kills the monster that spawned, another one might spawn in the same area. Well, I was going through Founders Falls, trying to get to some friends who were about to run a mission, and the next thing I know is I got destroyed by 5 giant snowmen apparently having a meeting at a corner. It was not fun. So this is Peregrine Island. This is the level 50 zone. This is where some of the endgame content starts. Let's see here. Oh, that's right. Because it's Halloween, it's always dark. I forget. There is a day and night cycle. It's just because it's the Halloween event. Everything stays dark permanently for the entire event. But usually this place lights up really nice. It's got beautiful designs. Um, this is the Portal Corporation. This is where a lot of your end game missions will take place, where you will jump into portals. Let me go ahead and show that off real quick. Click the elevator. And as you can see, a giant Stargate like apparatus where once you have a mission you can click on and it will send you to the appropriate location. Although one of these will actually send you to a place called the Shadow Shard. It is yet another end game content. Although, oh dear God, please just take flight power. Take a jetpack with you. It'll save you such a headache. It's basically running around in a ginormous asteroid field with weird gravimetric pulls. So we're gonna go visit some giant monsters, and I want you guys to see this. By giant monsters, I mean giant monsters, and they hurt a lot. I'm just running around so fast that they can't really hit me, but the moment I start attacking, it becomes a fight. And if you recall when I said the secondary mutation might turn you into a monkey, well, here are the monkeys. It's a temporary thing, but it makes you absolutely useless. I have munched on monkeys. Telling me that I didn't hit a single one of them. Yep, now my max resistance. Um, this one, because I use life force to power myself, I basically just absorb a portion of their essence to power myself. And as you can see here, my smashing, fire, energy resistance, all of the components of those, the opposing ones, have just been cranked up to maximum, which for a war shade is 85% resistance. Tankers, I believe, get 90%. So they take almost nothing. Don't mind me. Just trying to think of anything else I can show you guys. Oh, yes, one other thing, one other aspect of this. So, you've got a bunch of friends together, you've decided to form a supergroup, which you can do. Well, what do superheroes have? Superheroes have bases. And of course, no superhero team would be complete without a fully customizable base. You start off with this one room, and as you play your game, you can use points that you earn while battling to start purchasing things for your base. Things include objects like this, which will give you temporary powers, temporary buffs for certain missions. Oh, this one stores Skittles, and as you can see, all the different types of Skittles, um, which you can see this is a fully unlocked tray of inspirations, and I can click these for things like this is damage, resistance, defense, accuracy. Um, this is for endurance, so that you can attack again. Uh, if you're felled in battle, this will get you back up. Then there's combined ones, which will give you a little of both. So this is resistance and defense. And these with the little black notches on the side are team inspiration. So if I burn it for myself, my entire team gets it in one shot. So it's always good to keep those in mind. We have teleporters. Actually, this is a raid teleporter. That function actually isn't working at the moment. But these are our teleporters that they can get us into different places. Um, Now, I should probably tell you. So here's one that goes straight to Pocket D. This is Striga, Craze Folly. And these two see Echo. Echo Galaxy City, Echo Dark Astoria. Those are two zones. One doesn't exist anymore, which is Galaxy City. Um, it's part of the tutorial now. And the other one is Dark Astoria. When the game went through a revamp, they redid the zone. But in order to get certain accolades, you needed to go to the original zone to get that badge. So they created the Echo. It's basically a time locked version of that zone, so you can see what it was by compared to what it is now. And in Galaxy City was your other original starting zone, but it wasn't as popular, so they got rid of it. And as you can see here, the regular Darkest Story, you've got the Hollows, Fault Line, Boomtown. Fault Line is quite literally a city area that was rocked by a massive earthquake and everything fell apart. And I believe it was a villain that caused that one. Um, let's see. I think this is all the starting zones, all the early areas. Yep, Atlas Park, Steel Canyon, Skyway City, Talos, Independence Port. Actually, let's go to Independence Port. Since you saw where I started, you can actually see the map because I actually have the fog lifted. I've been all over this map. So going into the map, as you can see here, it's a fairly large map. Oh, I have friends. Yeah, but you guys are so below me. Oh, I'm sorry. These are the guys that actually con at your level. I wonder if there's a group. Looks like there's a group right there. All right. Let's have a little fun. You can see I've got way more powers now. Um, the War Shades and the Peacebringers recently just went through some quality of life changes, and they are absolutely insane. For example, I have a power here called Gravity Well. The Gravity Well will activate, and it will pull other targets towards it. Then there is this attack, which is a teleporting kick, which damages all nearby enemies as well. Lots of ranged attack type stuff. And again, I can turn around and just kind of switch into dwarf form and just kind of go, yo, and become an off tank. Cheese off a few guys, heal myself up a little bit, cheese off a few more guys. And while I'm actually just kind of putzing around here, let's go into enhancement mode real quick. As you can see, I'm still missing a few things. However, all of these are set enhancements that give me a different type of bonus. Um, Improves my regeneration by 12%, increases my maximum health points by almost 2%. This one gives me increased smashing lethal resistance. It's what helps gives me all of my buffs my numbers as I play through. So you're not stuck using just the standard generics, but there's nothing wrong with purchasing standard generics. As you can see here, I've got a standard generic one here and here for some of my other stuff. And there's actually a challenge mode in this game that they've introduced recently where you're not allowed to use your set bonus stuff. So you're in basically a challenge mode of using nothing but training enhancements and going full on old school because that was actually originally how the game was played. Now, the fun part about War Shades is that they're a little bit of Mastermind, they're a little bit of Controller, they're a little bit of Blaster, they're a little bit of Tank. But again, their strength is derived by the composition of the team. So they get different. They'll get different perks based on that. So the more damage dealers you have on the team, the better your defenses are. The more defensive characters you have on your team, the better your damage is, I believe. And then for the more defensive controller type characters, the better your resistance to stun effects are. And you can see on the screen since Carnage Shard bonded. That's a level 50. That's a level 50 thing. That's these here extra powers that you would normally get. Let's see here. We can do Judgment. Actually, no, I can't do Judgment. I'm being exemplar down at the moment. The nice thing is that as a hero, you can join most of the content, provided that you meet the level requirements. Task Force, for example, have level requirements, but missions don't. So if you are currently fighting, helping a friend out who's got a higher level mission, just needs more bodies, you can just jump in and start helping them out, and you'll get pulled up to their level. In this case, I'm being pulled down to level 41 because that is the highest level of this mastermind here. So, of course, I don't have my full power set, which is kind of sad because I could do a little bit more damage if I was. Salvage found. Most likely these are salvage for the Halloween event. Let's go back to human. With the new enhancement sets, actually, let's showcase a little bit of that too. Why don't we? So some of the quality of life enhancements, the Guardians themselves have their own unique enhancement. However, I've got a couple that are specific. Like these are holiday enhancements, and this is a Halloween enhancement right here. Is witchcraft. It's unique to this server. It is unique to this event. So this is another one, the Vampire's Bite, which allows me to give a melee attack a chance to give me a self heal, which I put it on the attack that gives me a self heal, so I have a double chance for that. And Stygian Return, which is my personal res. If I'm to fall in battle, I've set this up with this unique set from the Halloween event, where it turns any res power into a mass res power. So my single target res is a becomes a party res. And of course, I've got some of the older enhancements here that I'm not currently using, plus the stuff that I've been earning as I battle, which I'll end up selling. I can't use most of this stuff anyway. Let's see here. Let's let's go ahead and go back to my character select real quick. And that's the only thing is you got to wait about 10 seconds to disengage before you can jump into the character select screen and go to something else. But I will actually pull out Starless She. This is actually a character based on my wife, and um, so yeah, no, not abashedly ashamed, not ashamed at all. So anyway, I'm in an area. It's a PVE area where heroes and villains can team up to battle. This is actually the site. If you know the game lore, originally the main heroes of the story of the world were taken away and thought dead from an alien invasion. They stopped, called the Ricti. But of course, these aliens here have unleashed things on in the world that were never meant to be unleashed because of this attack. So they basically are the start of everything. But one of the things that you can do here as heroes and villains, which requires leagues, meaning humongous teams. Usually your team size caps at 8, but with leagues you can go much, much higher than that. I believe you can get 6 teams of 8. But what I'm about to go do will probably kill me. You can see my little pixie character. You see that glowing bubble there? That is the Ricti Mothership. This is what they call the Mothership Raid. You have to go through this zone and find pylons and blow them all up before they regenerate, which will bring down the shield of the Ricti Mothership. And then from there, you'll have to place 2 bombs to destroy the power core, and you will fight an alien by the name of Yukon Grey, as in Yukon Grey to him. And so that's one of the pylons there. And so they basically just start. It's a massive brawl against you and this one Ricky that summons a bunch of friends. And as you can see, I've got Mezzed here. That's the sleep effect. It doesn't turn off your powers, but it does put you in a very vulnerable state. Um, you know what? Let's go to Ouroboros. But unfortunately for that, I have to stop flying. This game's weird about that. This is a zone that you can only access once you hit a certain level. It's kind of a port hub. It lets you replay sections of this game where you may have out leveled by coming to one of these crystals in here and touching it. And it will let you play through any of the missions through any of the levels that you have access to. So this way, even if you out level something, you can always go back because certain missions will give you a badge that will lead to accolades that you would really, really want. And as I said before, there's certain costume bits and things that are locked. This is where you can unlock them by getting Astral merits and Imperium merits. And you get those by doing the level 50 content. So there are some stuff that is level locked. And then you've got to kind of work to get them out. But it's not a whole lot, and it doesn't really change the game much for you. Ouroboros will actually get you a location. Will let you teleport to a couple of locations. And the badge you're going to want once you get here is you're going to try. You want to either, if you can't fly, jump on this column and walk all the way to the top here. And see that little notch right there. Touching that notch will give you access to this power, which is the Ouroboros portal. Will let you summon the portal to come here. And a lot of people use this as a travel power because it gets you to a lot of the main areas of the games where you can get to other places. And it's a lot faster than taking the train. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much City of Heroes in a nutshell. We'll go to Atlas real quick. There's a couple other things I do want to show off. And then I'm going to be calling it for a while. But a couple of things. Number one is this building here. So there's the auction house, and the building next to this auction house. There's a door at the bottom that'll get you up top here. But since I can fly, I'm just going to fly up here. This is called AE Entertainment. This is where you can actually create your own missions for other people to play. They'll give you a duration, how many missions, what to expect, and what you need to do. And some of them have stories. Some of them are just XP farms. So there's some interesting content to it. Now, if you do run an XP farm, because it isn't story type content, they limit your XP to just that. However, if you have a developer's choice, if you get notarized by the developers, they will flag your mission, and you can opt in to get in-game rewards such as enhancements and salvage. But otherwise, you would get tickets that you can trade up to here. That you can train up here to this guy, and you can purchase some stuff like salvages, recipes, or go random roll if you want. And of course, you can see I've got over 7,000 tickets. It doesn't. You get them very quickly. You can get standard recipes here, dual origin enhancements, training enhancements. You can get different types of salvages to craft out the other recipes. You can take a shot at the reward roll table, or you can even unlock costume packs. So, let's go for a gold class recipe roll. Let's see how lucky we get. And what did I get? I got a chance for Mag to hold lockdown, so that's over here. You can see all my salvage here, and then of course all of the different recipes that you can craft. This is for damage resistance. This is for endurance training, yours specifically. Springfoot is for jumping, flying endurance, immobilization range. So there's a lot of different types of enhancements, and you can see that there's a level number here. So it means that you can't use this below that level, but that enhancement will go for that level and up. However, the higher the level enhancement, the better the percentage is. I wish I had two back to back. Actually, do I? Yes, I do. So this is an endurance jump, and this one will give me a 21.8%, but at level 50 I can get 26.5%. So these don't expire as opposed to the generic ones. They will expire after a short amount of time. As you can see that they're red, it means they will not work for me anymore. But these crafted ones will work until you decide to replace them. But unlike the method that I showed you earlier where you can combine two of the same enhancement types, you cannot combine two of the same crafted enhancement types. They are fixed. And if you wanted to form a supergroup with your friends, get all your people jumping in on this, you come here to the supergroup registration, and you talk to this guy. Now, there is a maintenance fee, but it's usually really cheap. And yep, there's another badge down here. And there are times where you may have chosen powers, and you absolutely hate the power. There's missions that you can run for called respec missions that will allow you to go ahead and re-roll your powers that you selected. Now, you cannot branch out past your primary and secondary, you're stuck with those two types. However, if you found that one of the powers that you chose just doesn't work for you, you don't care for it, you can run those respec missions to change your selection. But when you do, it's all of it at the same time. You don't just pick and choose what you're changing and reslot. You're choosing from level 1 forward up until whatever your current level is, and then you choose your reslots. Your pool powers, however, which are these over here, which I didn't actually explain, and I apologize. You can change these because these are all selectable as you level up. I've chosen leadership, which gives me, excuse me, which gives me a chance to buff all of my party members around me, but these do cost endurance. This one is for defense, this one is for damage, this one is for perception, allowing you to see cloaked characters. And cloaking is a thing in this game. You can be invisible. Teleportation gives me recall, gives me blink, gives me blink blitz, which is a teleportation AoE. Mass translocation, which allows me to pull an entire group of villains or heroes to my location. And then, of course, long range teleport, which lets me teleport to just about any place in the game that is normally accessible. I also took speed for hasten, which ups my recharge rate, which is this one right here. And mystic flight, which gives me the flight power, but also I guess I can't do the teleportation one here, can I? Oh well. Let's see if I can do it outside. This will give me the teleportation as well. These are archetype specific pool powers. This is probably one of the few things that might be locked. And that's my teleportation. I was just over there. See that statue? The door. And I'll do it again. I'm going to teleport to her face. And it's got a pretty decent range. You can enhance that range too. Just about everything you can think of in this game, you can enhance. And that's pretty much City of Heroes. Like I said, there's so much to explore with this game. There's so much to do. And there's so many different ways that you can do it. It's absolutely ridiculous. You want to be a super speedster. You have super speed ability, which lets you race. You saw me do that. You want to be a leaper. You can jump buildings. You can fly. You can teleport. Those are your primary travel powers that you can get eventually. But that isn't to say that other archetypes don't have some form of that. There are, excuse me. You want to be a medic. You want to be there's a pool power for healing as well, so you can be an empath with the pool power for healing and really up your healing abilities. You can be a complete party buff with the leadership pool and some of the controller abilities. You can be a one-man army if you need to, doing the same thing, just mixing and matching. And I highly recommend playing this game if you're looking for something fun. And granted, like I said, this server has a small population, but it is growing every day, and there's a lot of love and a lot of work being put into it. And that person right there, I think, is a wind controller, which, if I recall, wind control is info. Yep, Wind Control is actually one of the newer sets that I don't believe was officially released, but we have it here. Time manipulation was one that was proliferated around, if I recall correctly, which lets you slow down bubbles of time and gets your recharge rates going. It can also augment your friends, your allies' powers of recharge, and I mean, this is a very open world for such an old game. Still holds a lot of value, and is still, in my opinion, probably one of the better games out there, just for the fact that they did think a lot of things through, and a lot of the gaming mechanics still hold well so long after the game has sunset. Um, you have different villain types like the Clockwork here, which are psychically controlled robots. You've got the Hellions, which are a gang of thugs that are just wanting to be better. There's another gang out here called the Skulls, and they're usually at odds with each other. Then you've got character types that like to augment their body called the Freak Show, which they're in Talos. You've got a group of East Asian thugs called the Sioux who use metaphysic magical means to summon spirits to do battle and basically strengthen themselves with mystic tattoos. You've got the let's see what other. I've shown you the Rikti, which were the alien race that is trying to invade the Earth. These are the Freak Show right here. You can see here they how they've augmented their bodies with metal and electricity. Let's see if we can show you an example of Sioux. I mean, each map, as you can see here, is just huge, just so large, and there's so much to do. Um, let's see, the Freedom Corps Special Forces is where you can get some generic stuff, but there are also. Oh, the music changed. Uh oh. Yep, yep. This is an event going on right now. This is how they announce the event, and this one is the banners. This one right here, Pandora's Box. This is a magic shop. You can come in here and buy enhancements for your magic. Um, don't think the Sioux will be out now. Flying through the city. Yeah, all the villains have decided. Nope, they're out of here. Let me check the map real quick. Is it the banners? I don't see banners up. There's definitely something going on here because the lighting changed, the music changed. You know something's up, but it doesn't look like it's the zombie apocalypse that we've seen. Zombies have disappeared from Fault Line. Do do. I admit the music's kicking. Old as it is, it kicks. All right. This is the hospital. If you are defeated in battle, most zones have a hospital in the zone, which you'll show up and wake up on a gurney and walk right on out. Even the police stations will give you a mission. Oh, yep, we're doing banners in this one. Basically, you have to have teams on all four banners and defeat the summons that show up. Let's see here. I have actually gotten lost. As embarrassing as that is, I got a little lost. Looking for the train station now. You know what? Let's recall. That's Blink. Mass translocate. Assemble the team. Yes, you can get a temp power called Assemble the Team. Oh, yeah. This is a controller. Let me show you this thing. We have Fluffy, the Dark Servant. I colored him red so you can actually see him. And then there's my fluffy puppy, the Umbral Beast. And each one of these guys are powerful in their own right. Well, let's see. Where is the train? Train's this way. Let me see if I can show off a couple of the other factions that are in here. And these two particular pets will follow you until they are unsummoned. There are some that have a limited time. As a matter of fact, I'm sorry, the Dark Servant has a limited time. The Umbral Beast does not. I'm getting hungry. Okay. Let's see here. There's just random people walking around, making a day of themselves. Okay. Yep. I think something's about to happen here because I'm not seeing any bad guys. There should be some bad guys here. Why are there no bad guys? Ah, here we go. Some escaped prisoners because the ziggurat is here. This is the. Oh, yeah, you can see him at work now. Go, puppy, go. I have him set up so that every so often he will summon ghosts aid him. Or he'll just eat them. Um, there is the Cray, which is a company that is basically trying to rule the world. Well, he's been afraid. Should be summoning some ghosts. Did I not? I didn't put him in there. Oh man, I totally forgot to put that in there. Oh well. And then there's the Dark Servant, who is just basically just taking him down with him. Let's see, right here. And of course, helping officers and Samaritans from being attacked like this will net you some either some influence as well. Sometimes they'll give you a gift. So while you're street sweeping, it's a good idea to do that, especially in the zone earlier in the game, because you can get some extra bonuses just for doing stuff. And you can see when an enemy is affected by something that I have, the colors of the powers have been done in such a way so that you will see that color, and I know exactly which enemy is been targeted with an effect, which in some cases is actually important because you want to make sure that those marked enemies take the extra damage. And as I showed you earlier, some of the giant monsters. Some zones have monsters that will spawn, some don't. So places like Cray's Folly have Junkyard versus Atlas Park that doesn't have anything unless it's an event that's happening. So you never know when you're going to turn a corner and find a giant monster. There's Luska, the eight tentacled octopus that you have to battle. Very akin to Final Fantasy six. No, Final Fantasy 4. Um, you'll have Junkyard. You'll have a zone monster like the Hamadon, which is a ginormous cell. And you cannot take that guy down unless you are in a league because there's a very systematic way of taking down that particular monster, or he will just destroy you if you try to go in there by yourself. You wouldn't last very long. He looks like a giant cell. There's things that pop around like the ghost ship, which drops ghosts. It's another little event that tends to happen from time to time. And that can happen in specific zones like Talos and Independence Port. There's just a lot that can happen with this game. It's just wild. And of course, the development team is constantly trying to improve the quality of what we have, give the players something a little bit more, a little bit extra. Like I said, the War Shades and the Peacebringers recently got some good loving that they desperately needed from the time that they've been put into play. To the event giving a little bit more of a unique reward, making them more desirable to play. You've got the new Guardian archetype, the new sets of power, the proliferation of certain powers to other archetypes, um, and just worlds upon worlds to just explore. Like here, you've got the family, you've got the Sky Raiders, which are basically evil rocketeers and mobsters. Now, let's see. Yep, more rocketeers and mobsters. You can see them running around, running away. Lushka, the octopus, appears here from time to time. As a matter of fact, I'm close to one of her spawn points if she happens to show up. As a matter of fact, there she is. A giant tentacled octopus that you have to take down the tentacles before you can take down the actual monster, and they hurt. And I'm gonna just go ahead and do it. Go, Fluffy. Yeah, see how quickly I went down? Not a joke. Not a joke. Those monsters hurt. There's me waking up at the Gertie. Probably didn't help that I didn't have all of my defenses turned on. But since I'm level 50, this gray bar here is the negative debt I now have to pay off. But because I'm level 50, it doesn't matter. So between from levels 1 through 10 and level 50, your debt doesn't matter. Your debt dying doesn't matter. But it's between levels 10 to 49 where you do have to be mindful of that. The more you die, the more you incur. There are caps, but working all that extra debt off means it's going to take you that much longer to level. But there's always somebody who's willing to run a farm for you and help you level out if need be. But I highly recommend avoiding those, at least for your first playthrough. So you get a feel for the game, you get storylines, you get to meet some things like you've got the Council and then the Fifth Column, which are basically fascists and Nazis that you get to fight. Yes, this game has fascists and Nazis. And the fascists and the Nazis have werewolves. And vampires. Let's see. Anybody here vampire? Nope. That, by the way, that's hold. That's a hold. Let's see. I know one of these guys have got to have a vampire or a werewolf in them. I might just pop over to Striga. There are some villains that are unique to certain zones. And some that you'll only find in certain zones. Like I believe the husks are only in Strega. And that's the capo. There's also zone events that happen, like in Steel Canyon. You have fires, where you have to go in and fight fires, and be a firefighter, and things like of that nature as well. I don't know of too many other zone type events, but oh, hey, look at that! The Nazis are fighting the fascists. And of course, some of the stuff is interactable, as you can see. The gates and signs generally. It's a police station. The Nazis are fighting in front of the police station. Good job. Good job, guys. Good job. And of course, you can pretty much get to most places on foot. Oh, there's the tunnel. That's what I was looking for. Ooh, is that a vampire? Yep, there's a vampire. No, no. My mistake, that's not a vampire. And of course, the community does do things like costume contests. You've been seeing the splash screen. So it's always good to pay attention to the community boards and the website page. But they'll always put the announced costume contests and stuff where they give out some really good prizes for in-game stuff. And of course, this is all free to play. There's a Sioux guy. That's one of the Sioux. Um, Everything is free to play. There's nothing to buy. There's nothing to purchase. And of course, the more you play, the longer you play, you get these Paragon rewards where every week they'll release a token or two, and it lets you unlock some stuff. And now it's a tiered system, so of course you have to unlock everything in that tier to move on. But things include the mission teleporter, XP boosters. This is just something very inexpensive, one-time use type stuff. But then you get costume bits like the trench coat, or you get the belly shirts for female costumes. You get Scottish kilts for males. And up here, you can even do reward packs. And since I do have a couple of these, let's just go ahead and open them so you can see what that's like. That's under salvage. Special. Oh, I know it's in here somewhere. Oh, yeah, that's right. Haha, I forget I gotta claim it. Sorry. Um, I've really got to clean up my email. These are all things that have been found in packages and in events. Entomb, enhancement slaughters, enhancements unslaughters. Remember how I said you couldn't remove them once you place them? You need an unslaughter. Converters will allow you to convert one type of enhancement to another, or enhancement boosters will basically give that plus one to a power. Endless nightmare and these types of enhancements. These are the Halloween enhancements. We have enhancements for your archetype, so Defender's Bastion, Brute's Fury, Blaster's Wrath. These are all um, reward. These are all unique to your archetype, and they boost very specific things of your character. So those are always good to find, and you get those out of the packs that you just saw me purchase. I'm just trying to see if I can find one so I can open them for you. Uh, Let me just double check which one I did. Sorry. Paragon rewards. I did. So this should be under the S for Super Pack. Just past it. I saw it. There it is. Super Pack. I have four of those, so I'm going to claim those four. I'm going to claim the first one. And it opens up this window, and you flip them over like cards. So I've got reward merits, which you can use to purchase items through the vendors. Enhancement boosters, awesome. I have a converter, sweet. Need some more of those. And this is the essence transfers for the Chaldeans, the War Shades, and the Peacebringers. And the last one is Gauntlet for the Tankers, and those will all show up here, accessible by any one of your characters. That's the character items. The account items are specific to that particular character. And of course, you see a bunch of character respecs. You get a couple of good free ones for you early on. Um, Choice of signature powers, which you can utilize. Pets. Comic book covers based on the old comic book that came out with the game originally. Experience to help you boost your experience gain while you're playing. Um, and other such things like that. Let's see what the. Oops. Let's do that. Let's go back to that. So let's open up another one and see what we get. Now you can actually have them automatically flip for you. I just like doing these. The brainstorm salvage ideas. These you convert in your super bases for other things. Let's see. Unslaughters, more merits, more better. Character converters, absolutely awesome. I love those. I need a bunch of those actually. Let's see. Enhancement catalyst. These will allow you to turn certain specific enhancements into bonded enhancements or upgrading them to the next level up. So, Scrapper Strike, for example, that is a standard, but the bonus enhanced version gives you even better, slightly better stats. So it's always good to catalyze those. At the moment, at the time of this recording, though, I believe they were still currently bugged. I don't know if they've actually been able to fix the issue where they take two to convert into to increase the one. Usually, it should be a 1-to-1. Gauntlet Fist, Vigilant Assault. This is for the defenders. Experience, so more experience powers for any new characters I create. Let's see, more reward merits. And do I have any more? Is it the last one? I think that was the last one. Yep. I could get more if I want to, but I think we're good for here. But I think overall, that's pretty much the entire game. Hey, rescue! Um, I mean, again, there's a lot to do, and if I had some of my buddies on right now, we'd probably be doing running missions and whatnot, showing off this game a bit more. Um, but you can see all the different salvages you can find that you can go into crafting for them at your super bases. There's also locations in Steel Canyon. As a matter of fact, I'm in Steel Canyon. It's on the other side of the map, though, where you can craft the items at universities. And these, so you don't need to be in a super group to craft an item, but you do need the correct corresponding recipe with the salvage that you would get from battling different foes or purchasing them from the stores or the auction house and then crafting them here at the university or in your super base to be able to utilize them. I'll run there real quick just to show you. Let's see. University is right here. This is the university. There's several of them in throughout the game, and they all look like this. They're pretty much cookie cuttered in there. And you come to these tables here, and boop. So if I was to go down to my... should have probably not clicked on that one. Invention salvage. Let's see, anything good here? Springfoot, level 50. Requires me to have a demonic threat report, a ceramic armor plate, and a bleeding stone. All common items. The color of the item dictates whether it's common, uncommon, or rare. And then it also, I'm going to need 490,000 influence. I have 44 million. I may have been playing this character for a little bit. You hit create, and it drops it right into the next available slot right there. And then you can just slot that anywhere you want. And for converters, since I believe I have a few here, I can convert in set for 3, in category for 2, or in rarity for 1. And there are 3 different pools. There are your in-game pools, all your standard in-game pools. You have your what is it? Your purple set pools. There are certain recipes that are purple. You can only find them. You cannot buy them. Well, you could buy them, but they're expensive. But they are in their own pool. They're the best of the best. But just because they are the best of the best doesn't mean that you should rely solely on them, because you can also what we call Frankenslot, mix and match, and really get a good balance going. There's planners that you can actually find. The mids team has done a great job with that and helps you build out your character if you want to mid-max, if you're that kind of a player. And then there are event-only pools, which were literally just either the Halloween pool stuff or the winter pool stuff that they will only convert into those specific pools if they're already in that pool. So here I switched over from a leaping to a slow. And if I pump it up in there, and these only work for the crafted ones, not for the generic ones. We're going to hide that prompt. Thank you. Rolling Barrage is one of the newer sets, and that's actually a really good one too. So I can take that Rolling Barrage if I wanted to maybe change the rarity of it. But let's just say for shiggles, I want to keep it in the set, but I want a different one. Of course, it's going to cost me 3, and I now have a damage recharge one that I can use and slot into any power that will accept the damage. So as you can see here, let me... Only the ones that highlight green are the ones that I can use for this. So anything that doesn't highlight green, I cannot use for it. And you can see here I got Primal Forces Mastery. That's epic pool power. Once you hit level 43, you're allowed to choose from an epic pool power. And if you go into villain side, you can actually get villain specific powers that you can then cross over into hero side and still keep them, but they're really unique only to villain side. So again, it's a good idea to run the villain side content as well. Highly recommend playing this game in all 3 forms. So be a hero, be a villain, be an alternate dimension person, and really get a better feel for the game. But I'll tell you right now, the alternate dimension one is a little bit harder. The content was definitely amped up for more veteran players. Hero and villain side are pretty much about the same. And the characters that you find in this game are just amazing. They're so well thought out. You've got characters like Lord Recluse, who is quite literally a spider character. He's got robotic arms like Doc Ock, but he's effectively Hercules because he hits like a truck. You've got characters like Liberty Synapse, who is a speedster character. You've got, as a matter of fact, here's your Iron Man character, whose backstory is the fact that he got irradiated. He was caught in an accident where he got radiated, and he has to live inside of his suit. And if you follow if you actually go and dig a little bit into the backstory of it, eventually he did find a way to fix his condition, and was able to now remove the helmet. Before, he couldn't even remove the helmet because it would kill anybody in the area. Let's see here. So this is Valkyrie, and she will help level you up. And this is Positron, who is basically the Hulk and, the issues with the Hulk of the radiation mixed with Tony Stark in his power armored suit. But as you can see now that he's able to remove his helmet because of some storyline stuff. And there are a lot of things that will change as you play the game. You'll get more into the lore. Where you saw me start off in Atlas Park and talk to Miss Liberty, the original character was actually Statesman. And there is a mission in here where you find out exactly what happens and why it's Liberty now in that area and not Statesman. But I don't want to spoil anything for you because I definitely want you guys to play this game. I want you guys to actually experience this game as I have. I really just want I really want people to just take a stab at this one as an MMO. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I show off this game. This is a game that's very dear to my heart. I've played it for such a long. I've met a very amazing group of people who I have become lifelong friends with. And so it's definitely something that it's definitely the reason why I love this game to this day, as old as it is. You can see how well this has held up throughout the ages, and the fact that there are people who are actively trying to keep this game going for free. They don't get paid for it at all. This is done by by just fans of the game itself. Highly recommend it. I'll put the links into the description so that you guys can check out the Rebirth server. Again, there are other servers that you can more than happy to, go ahead and explore. They have varying populations, but Rebirth for me is home. Rebirth has where all my friends are at, and it's just they've done so many good things for so many of the character types that I love that I can't see myself playing any other server. But with all that, thanks for joining me, and have a great one, guys.